Please come in. You're right on time. The door only opens when the clock strikes midnight. Georgia and Hannah are preparing to broadcast from the belfry. Just like this old bell tower, they have many stories to tell. Some old and some new. Follow me up these stairs, but mind your step. Ah, they're waiting for
I can't
you.
remember what fucking
Zoom
episode
is
of.
just really good like that.
Yeah, I think it was
I don't need this.
the the Mario Party episodes of Game Grumps, and there's one where Aaron is
Which
like,
Mario Party?
I don't know, but there's one where Aaron is like one of the more recent ones, probably one of the more recent ones, and Shannon, I think we always end up having to like skip that one because Aaron's fucking mouth sounds, he's like eating and drinking. Oh my God.
I always
Like
skip those.
if it bothers me, like things like that don't normally bother me, especially because I listen to so many podcasts where people are pretty
Mm-hmm.
cash. But I was like, holy shit, if that bothers me, like it's gotta drive the autistic people fucking crazy.
There was one episode that they did of Tears of the Kingdom. It might have been like the first episode or something, like Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, where did you see the Milo picture?
Yeah, that's like sticker worthy.
Um,
Full face.
Aaron was eating something and or he was like eating and talking at the same time.
Hmm.
And Dan just goes, "Aaron, don't. Some people have mesothelioma." To be like misophonia.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Oh my God. Ever since Seth has to rent a tux for this wedding,
Oh my God, he has to run a tux.
yeah, it's very expensive. It's so stupid. Um, yeah, I mean, I told you that I was shocked that like the wedding is semi-formal.
Hmm.
Like, there is a Pinterest board of like the vibe. Thank God. Because I'm like, oh, I could never.
Oh, I should do
Like,
that. I never really
I
thought
don't know
about
what
doing
the hell
that,
to. Yeah, yeah,
but I
yeah.
should do that.
Uh, um,
Although you guys all know what the vibe is already, I think.
well, yeah. Um,
It's the Loch
but
Ness
yeah, like,
Monster.
but all of the fits are like long gowns, and I'm like, oh dear God, I'm not
Yeah.
made for long gowns, which means I'm gonna have to wear
Well, and
heels
like,
so then things will like fit properly, right? But then I'm gonna be taller than Seth, but it doesn't really matter because he's in the wedding party.
yeah.
So
And also you have a long gown that you could easily use, but it's blue and now you can't wear blue.
correct. Or yellow, but that's fine. Oh, crazy.
Yeah. I have several long gowns, but they're not really your vibe.
Whoa, Shannon just sent me a picture. Oh my God, it looks so good.
I know.
Good Lord. Seth says he's gonna try and keep working on that light situation.
Yeah, I guess.
I have faith in him. I just realized I didn't even finish that train of thought. Ever since
Oh
Seth's
yeah.
been getting the things, I've been getting Tux rental ads on my phone,
Oh,
like
good.
constantly.
It's weird how that works.
I know. And I'm just like, God damn it. Can we not?
We're in a surveillance state.
Thanks for reminding me, Georgia. All right, Georgia. You know what I'm talking about today.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
I
what you're talking about.
remember.
Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed that my episode wasn't right after the triangle because I feel like that would have fit really well, but it's okay. We can't all have death and despair and capitalism. Sometimes you just have to have death and despair and
I
mystery.
mean, yeah, there's like, I think there's a little bit of capitalism, but there's a little bit of capitalism in everything.
Maybe a
So,
little racism or
yeah,
xenophobia. I don't know.
definitely racism. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Okay.
Woohoo!
In 1918,
Ah!
the city of New Orleans was paralyzed by fear. In the dead of night, someone was breaking into a series of Italian groceries, attacking the grocers and their families. Some were left wounded, and 4 people were left dead.
So dramatic.
The attacks were vicious. One man had his skull fractured with his own axe and his throat cut with a razor.
Oh my God. I mean, that's just rude.
That man's wife also had her throat cut. She asphyxiated on her own blood and bled out.
Ugh. Okay.
Between May 1918 and October 1919, I just fully was like, I think I just said the same number. 1918 to 1919, over a year. I think it's a year and 5 months. Someone known as the Axeman of New Orleans was this person wreaking havoc across the city, killing potentially over a dozen people and gravely injuring over a dozen more. As is implied by the name, the killer attacked his victims with an axe, usually belonging to the victims themselves. In most cases, a panel on the back door of the victim's home was removed by a chisel, and the chisel was then left on the floor near the now opened door. The
Mm-hmm.
crimes were not seemingly motivated by robbery, as it was never known that if the killer removed items from his victims' homes.
Mm.
It seemed that way.
Mm-hmm.
2 of the alleged quote unquote early victims of the Axeman were an Italian couple with the surname Sciambra,
Cool name.
Schiambra, were shot by an intruder in their lower Ninth Ward home during the early morning hours of May 16th, 1912,
Oh.
6 years prior. The male Sciambra, the husband,
Mm-hmm.
survived while his wife did not.
The male.
The male, the dude, the guy Sciambra. Newspaper accounts say that the prime suspect was referred to by the name of Momfrey, Momfre, more than once
Mm.
during this investigation.
Not to be confused with Mumford. Yeah.
Yeah,
And his
Mumford
sons.
and his sons. This was radically different from the Axeman's usual modus operandi, as we'll kind of go through later. So if Momfrey, if a Momfrey was indeed the Axeman, then the Sciambras may have been early victims,
Mm.
because
Mm-hmm.
this name became a bit of a suspect later.
Like if he got away with that one and then was like, oh my God. And he lay low for a really long time. And then he was like, I got away with this shit. I can just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen enough crime shows where they talk about how like the killer,
Like
adjusts
ramps up.
course, like ramps up, or
Hmm.
their mode
Like
of killing.
they're finding their niche. They're finding
Yeah.
their signature
Their
aesthetic.
signature. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. I was like, what is the word? I can't think of it. Yeah. Yeah. And it seems that the Axeman, as we'll talk about in a sec, liked to, hit people with an axe and then slit their throats or
Oh,
some variation thereof. So the difference between this one and the ones later on is uh these people were shot with a gun.
oh.
So
Hmm.
what
Maybe
they
he didn't
did,
like that.
their home was broken into, I should say.
Yeah. He
Okay.
said, guns loud. I don't like it.
Yeah, Mumford and Sons was like, that's too much. Or whoever it is. I don't want to say that it's Mumford.
Yeah.
So the majority of the Axeman's victims were Italian immigrants or Italian Americans. So transplants
Oh,
or Italian Americans,
that's so weird. I can't wait to see what we're talking about next episode.
Um, media outlets sensationalized this particular aspect of the crimes. Some newspapers suggested mafia involvement. The Italian mafia is, if you've never heard of something called the Italian mafia, then you're fucking crazy.
Anarchists?
Yeah.
Just I don't know, Italian anarchists at this time. We're really getting crazy.
So these newspapers said that there was a mafia involvement because of the Italian thing, despite like any evidence of them being involved. There was a complete lack of evidence
Hmm.
in that line of thinking. Some investigators suggested that these killings were sexually motivated and that the murderer was a sexual sadist specifically seeking female victims. Criminologists Colin and Damon Wilson hypothesized that the Axeman killed male victims only when they obstructed his attempts to murder women, which is substantiated by the cases in which the woman of the household was murdered, but not the man. And like the man was injured, sure, but
Was this like contemporary criminologists, like after the fact, or like people
I
at the
believe
time?
so.
Okay.
It was Colin and Damon Wilson.
Are they like a brother duo, criminology duo?
Yes. This
Oh,
is
damn.
more contemporary than, the time period. But so he lived from 1931 to 2013.
Okay. So like prime criminology becoming a science era, probably.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Mindhunter territory.
yeah. Wilson became associated with the angry young men of British literature. That's fun.
Like who?
I don't know. He contributed to Declaration, an anthology of manifestos by writers associated with the movement. Um, he seems to be sort of a
Oh,
religious rebel. What is with all of these flies? Where are they coming from?
the term angry young men refers to a group of British writers, primarily playwrights and novelists who rose to prominence in the 50s, characterized by social criticism, disillusionment with post-war Britain, and rejection of traditional literary and social norms.
Oh, apparently he was a big uh Cthulhu Mythos fan.
Oh.
Oh, just kidding, not a fan. In
Oh.
in The Strength to Dream, published in 1961, Wilson attacked H.P. Lovecraft as sick and as a bad writer who had rejected reality, but he grudgingly praised Lovecraft's story, The Shadow Out of Time, as capable science fiction. Fun.
I mean, most people who like Lovecraft will say that he only had a couple stories that were actually good.
Hmm. It was all of the stuff that came after that was inspired by
Yeah, well, and
Cthulhu Mythos.
I mean, I don't like to quote unquote defend Lovecraft that much because he was like a racist, xenophobic, blah blah blah. But in his quote unquote defense, most of the things that have been published were published posthumously, and like he was a perfectionist and he would have never intended for a lot of these things to have been read by anyone. And then August Derleth came along and posthumously published all of his like, like drafts and things as
Like his manuscripts.
yeah, like as finished stories. So a lot of the things that people read that aren't good are not finished and were never meant to be published. So
Mhm.
yeah, in that context, of course you're gonna think he's not a good writer.
Right. Like that makes sense.
And then when you read something like Call of Cthulhu and you're like, oh, this was actually a good story. Like, yeah, because that was one of the few that was published the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, back to it. Murdered the women, but not the man.
got it.
Hated women. Okay, bet. On May 23rd, 1918, Joseph Maggio, an Italian grocer, and his wife,
I know a
Catherine.
guy named Joe Maggio.
That's crazy. Is it Joe DiMaggio?
No, Joe Maggio. He's a real estate agent in
Oh,
Manhattan.
oh shit, okay. Um, Him and his wife Catherine were attacked while sleeping inside their apartment on the corner of Upper Line and Magnolia Streets. The killer broke into the residence and cut the couple's throats with a straight razor. Catherine's throat was cut so deeply that her head was nearly severed from her shoulders.
Ugh.
The killer then struck both victims with an axe bonked on the head, perhaps in order to conceal the cause of death. Joseph survived the attack but died minutes after being discovered by his brothers, Jake and Andrew. The killer wrote a message on the nearby pavement reading, "Mrs. Maggio will sit up tonight just like Mrs. Tony," theorized to be a reference to Anthony and Joanna Sciambra.
Oh, Mrs. Tony.
Yeah, Mrs. Tony, like Anthony.
Should we call
Oh,
Mary
yeah.
Mrs. Tony?
Oh, Jesus Christ. No. I'm not going back to that.
Uh,
Milo, what the hell are you doing, bud? Your toy is right there.
I would call Tony Mr. Mary, if anything.
Yeah, seriously. Police found the bloody clothes of the murderer in the apartment as he had obviously changed into a clean set of clothes before fleeing the scene. A complete search of the premises was not performed after the bodies were removed. Yet, the blood-stained razor was later found on the lawn of a neighboring property. Police ruled out robbery as motivation for the attacks, as money and valuables left in plain sight were not stolen by the intruder.
Can you
The razor,
imagine if that was your property and a just fucking bloody razor that was just used to murder someone was found and you're just like, I don't know where that came from, I swear to
like, maybe I should tell somebody?
God.
Yikes. The razor was found to belong to Joseph's brother Andrew, who owned a barber shop on Camp Street. His
Oh.
employee, Esteban Torres, told police that Andrew had removed the razor from his shop 2 days prior to the murder, explaining that he wanted to have a nick honed from the blade. Andrew, who lived in an adjoining apartment to Joseph and his wife, reported hearing groaning noises through the wall on the night of the murders. Andrew blamed his failure to hear any noise related to the attack itself on his intoxicated state. Police, however, were nonetheless surprised that he failed to hear the intruder's forced entry into the home, which must have been loud if he fucking broke in with a chisel.
Yeah.
So, this was May 23rd, 1918. During the early morning hours of June 27th, 1918, Louis Bessemer and his mistress, Harriet Lowe, were attacked in private quarters at the back of Bessemer's grocery, located at the corner of Dorgenois and La Harpe streets. Or maybe it's Dorgenois. or Dorganoy. People in New Orleans pronounce shit
Yeah,
weird.
they sure do. Because it's not
But
French.
yeah, it's French and Spanish and English and blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
Bessemer was struck with a hatchet above his right temple, which resulted in a possible skull fracture. I'm gonna assume that it was a skull fracture if they're saying
A
possible.
possible skull
Yeah,
fracture.
they
Yeah,
weren't exactly X-raying at that point.
true.
Lowe was hacked over the left ear and left with one side of her face permanently paralyzed. Excuse
Ugh.
me. The couple were discovered the following morning, alive but critically injured, by bakery wagon driver John Zanka, who had come to the grocery to make a routine delivery. The axe, which had belonged to Bessemer himself, was found in an adjacent bathroom. Almost immediately, police arrested Louis Ubicon. By the way, I should say this is Louis spelled a different way. Louis Bessemer is like Louis,
Uh-huh.
so it might actually be Louis. This
Is Lew
guy,
Lewis like Lewis from Stardew?
yeah, exactly, with a
Okay.
W.
Yeah.
Louis Ubicon, a 41-year-old African American man who had been employed in the grocery just a week before the attacks. No evidence existed which could have proven Ubicon guilty, yet police arrested him nonetheless, stating that he had offered conflicting accounts of his whereabouts on the morning of the attack. He was later released as police were unable to gather any extra sufficient evidence to hold him.
Sorry, Squid just scared the shit out of
It's okay.
me. She like jumped sideways, like across, and then just like
It's so
slammed
funny.
into my rib cage. And then she ran directly into the printer headfirst.
Oh, cool. Do you want me to
Um,
say what I said again? Did you miss
no,
it?
I heard you. It just took me a second to be like, okay. I was gonna say that anytime someone is giving an inconsistent account, I guess it doesn't automatically mean that you're guilty of murder, but it's definitely suspicious of something. You definitely
Mhm.
are hiding something.
I mean, that's self-incrimination though, right? That's the
Yeah,
Fifth Amendment. Like you should have your rights read. Like anything
yeah,
you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, but that's if you're charged.
yeah,
If you are acting as witness, you can't testify against yourself. You can't, that's not a thing.
yeah.
Anyway. Or well, it shouldn't be a thing. It sure as fuck happens, but this system is broken.
And he's probably just having an affair or something. And
Yeah, it's very
I
possible.
feel like
Or he
that's what
was
happens
fucked
in,
up. I don't know.
yeah, like that's always what happens in TV shows, right? Like you're hiding something, it's because you're having an affair. That's the red herring.
During the early morning hours of August 5th, 1918, 28-year-old Anna Schneider, who was 8 months pregnant, awoke to find a dark figure standing over her and was then bashed in the face repeatedly.
Ugh.
Her scalp was cut open and her face was covered in blood. Anna was discovered after midnight by her husband, Ed Schneider, as he returned late from work. So early morning hours, it's not like 3 a.m. It's like probably like 11 p.m. or maybe it's like close to midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Anna claimed that she remembered nothing of the attack and gave birth to a healthy baby girl 2 days later.
Aw.
Ed told the police that nothing was stolen from the home besides $6 or $7 that had been in his wallet. The windows and doors of the couple's apartment appeared to have not been forced open, and authorities came to the conclusion that the woman was most likely attacked with a lamp that had been on a nearby table.
That's very different. Wait, one, that's very different from an ex. Two, the guy not taking his wallet to work with him?
Yeah.
That's weird.
And the fact that money was actually taken, like so far, things are
Yeah.
straying.
Yeah.
On August 10th, 1918, Pauline and Mary Bruno awoke to the sound of a commotion in the adjoining room where their elderly uncle, Joseph Romano, resided. Upon entering the room, the sisters discovered Romano had taken a serious blow to his head, which resulted in 2 gaping cuts. The assailant was fleeing the scene as they arrived, yet the girls were able to distinguish that he was a dark-skinned, heavy-set man who wore a dark suit and slouched hat. Romano was able to walk to the ambulance once it arrived, yet died 2 days later due to severe head trauma. Oh my God, my brain. His home had been
Speaking of head
ransacked.
trauma.
Yeah. Yet no items were stolen that anyone could find. Authorities found a bloody axe in the backyard and discovered that a panel on the back door had been chiseled away. Several months later, on March 10th, 1919, Italian immigrant Charles Cortimiglia and his family, his wife, Rosie, and his infant daughter, Mary, were attacked in their home on the corner of Jefferson Avenue and 2nd Street in Gretna, Louisiana, which is actually across the Mississippi River. It's not in New Orleans proper. Upon hearing screams from the Cortimiglia residents, grocer Orlando Giordano rushed across the street to investigate. He discovered that Cortimiglia's family had all been attacked by the Axeman. Charles and Rose had both suffered skull fractures from blows caused by an axe, which was found on their back porch. Mary was killed in her mother's arms from a blow to the back of the neck.
Oh,
The baby. Nothing was stolen from the house, but a panel on the back door had been chiseled away. A less plausible theory about all of this is that the Axeman committed the murders in an attempt to promote jazz music.
Oh, that's right.
Which came after the Axeman admitted to be willing to spare the lives of those who played jazz in their homes. On March 13th, 1919, a letter supposedly from the Axeman sent to all the local newspapers said the following. And it's addressed from the location of hell, dated March 13th, 1919.
Just wanted to be like Jack the Ripper.
Esteemed mortal, it's addressed to. They have never caught me, and they never will. They have never seen me, for I am invisible, even as the ether that surrounds your earth. I am not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell. I am what you Orleanians and your foolish police call the Axeman. When I see fit, I shall come and claim other victims. I alone know whom they shall be. I shall leave no clue except my bloody axe, besmeared with blood and brains of he whom I have sent below to keep me company. If you wish, you may tell the police to be careful not to rile me. I don't know why that's so funny, but that sentence specifically, it's like, okay. I mean, this is you kind of telling them, I guess, but anyway.
Yeah, it's like, calm down, bud.
Of course, I am a reasonable spirit. I take no offense at the way they have conducted their investigations in the past. In fact, they have been so utterly stupid as to not only amuse me, but His Satanic Majesty, Francis Joseph, etc.
Okay.
I don't know. But tell them to beware. Let them not try to discover what I am, for it were better that they were never born than to incur the wrath of the Axeman. I don't think there is any need of such a warning, for I feel sure the police will always dodge me, as they have in the past. They are wise and know how to keep away from all harm. Undoubtedly, you Orleanians think of me as a most horrible murderer, which I am, but I could be much worse if I wanted to. If I wished, I could pay a visit to your city every night. At will, I could slay thousands of your best citizens, for I am in close relationship with the angel of death.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Now, to be exact, at 12:15 earthly time on next Tuesday night, I'm going to pass over New Orleans. Which is crazy to me because he's been talking about like how he's going to come, like he's in hell
Yeah.
and like come down with me and I'll come up and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. In my infinite mercy, I am going to make a little proposition to you people. Here it is. I am very fond of jazz music, and I swear by all the devils in the nether regions that every person shall be spared in whose home a jazz band is in full swing at the time I have just mentioned. If everyone has a jazz band going, well then, so much the better for you people. One thing is certain, and that is that some of your people who do not jazz it out
Jazz it out.
on that specific Tuesday night, if there be any, will get the axe. Well, as I am cold and crave the warmth of my native Tartarus, and it is about time I leave your earthly home, I will seize my discourse, hoping that thou wilt publish this, that it may go well with thee. I have been, am, and will be the worst spirit that ever existed, either in fact or realm of fantasy. From the Axeman.
This guy spent way too much time on book talk.
I know. This is ridiculous.
Like, calm down.
That night, all of the city's dance halls were filled to capacity, and everybody played jazz at parties, bars, and hundreds of houses across town. And there were, in fact, no murders that night. On August 10th,
Jazz saves lives.
jazz saves lives. Everybody jazz hands.
Everybody, jazz it out.
Oh. Yeah, what was it? And that is that some of your people who do not jazz it out on that specific Tuesday night will get the axe. Get out of here, please. Okay, so on August 10th, 1919, grocer Steve Boca was attacked as he slept in his bedroom by an axe-wielding intruder. Boca awoke during the night to find a dark figure looming over his bed. Upon regaining consciousness, after being attacked, Boca ran to the street to investigate the intrusion and found that his head had been cracked open. The grocer ran to the home of his neighbor, Frank Janusa, where he lost consciousness and collapsed. Nothing had been taken from the home, yet once again, a panel on the back door of the home had been chiseled away. Boca recovered from his injuries but could not remember any details of the attack, other than those said already. The attack took place, obviously, after the infamous Axeman letter. Now, granted, this was 5 months later or something like that.
Yeah. That's Boca, or no, sorry, that's Steve Boca. Boca Steve is when your dad goes to Florida.
Boca Steve, yeah. Oh my god.
Like a Hawaiian shirt and a Panama hat.
I cannot picture my father in either of those things. Good lord.
I can, and it's magical.
Oh, jeez. I mean, he can. Dad, you can do it if you want, but just know that I can't picture it. I mean, I can't picture most things, but that's fine. Okay. Oh, did Shannon ever get his letter?
No.
The hell?
I was gonna see if I can, since it's on my informed delivery, I think I'm gonna see if I can like report it as not showing up.
Like it said that it showed up already, or
No, informed delivery is like when they're processing your mail and it gets scanned and they just like email you the scans so you see what's coming. But it just never came.
Yeah, that's weird. That was like a while ago.
Yeah, it was just over a week ago since I got the email.
Yeah. So freaking weird. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
On the night of September 3rd, 1919, Sarah Lauman was attacked in her apartment. Neighbors came to check on the young woman who had lived alone and broke into the home when Lauman did not answer. They discovered the 19-year-old lying unconscious on her bed, suffering from a severe head injury and missing several teeth.
Ugh.
The intruder had entered the apartment through an open window and attacked Lauman with a blunt object. A bloody axe was discovered on the front lawn of the building. Lauman recovered from her injuries, yet couldn't recall any details from the attack.
Mm-hmm.
On the night of October 27th, 1919, the wife of Mike Pepitone was awakened by a noise and arrived at the door of her husband's bedroom just as a large axe-wielding man was fleeing the scene. Pepitone had been struck in the head and was covered in his own blood. Blood spatter covered the majority of the room, including a painting of the Virgin Mary. I don't know why this fact was important, but
It's just for the drama, you know?
It was detailed in like 3 different reports, so.
Huh.
Pepitone's wife, the mother of 6 children, was unable to describe any characteristics of the killer other than large. And this was presumably the last of the alleged Axeman attacks.
Don't you think that this guy looks like a Mike Pepitone?
He kind of does. Pepitone.
Ugh, yeah. Charcuterie Fridays by Mike Pepitone.
Crime writer Colin Wilson once again.
There he is again.
Speculates the Axeman could have been Joseph Monfrey, a man shot to death in Los Angeles in December 1929 by the widow of Mike Pepitone, the Axeman's last known victim. Wilson's theory has been widely repeated in other true crime books and websites. However, true crime writer Michael Newton searched public, police, and court records in New Orleans and Los Angeles, as well as newspaper archives, and failed to find any evidence at all of a man named Joseph Monfrey or a similar name having been assaulted or killed in Los Angeles. Newton was also not able to find any information that Mrs. Pepitone, who was identified in some sources as Esther Albano, and in other sources simply as a woman who claimed to be Pepitone's widow. My bad. He wasn't able to find that this woman was arrested, tried, or convicted for such a crime, or indeed had been in California at all. Newton notes that Momfrey was not an unusual surname in New Orleans at the time of these crimes. And it seemed that there actually may have been a real individual named Joseph Momfrey or Mumfrey, like Mumfre, in New Orleans who had a criminal history and who may have been connected with organized crime. However, local records for this period of time aren't extensive enough to get confirmation or to really identify this individual, physically in any way.
Yeah.
So Wilson's explanation is pretty much just an urban legend that people stick with.
Yeah, it kind of feels like what's that one lady who was like, I know who Jack the Ripper is, and everyone was like, yeah, but then actual intelligent people were like, none of this makes fucking sense. What are you doing?
Talking about? You just wanted to say some stuff.
I can't remember what her name is, but
and then people believed her.
Yeah.
According to a criminal scholar named Richard Warner, he believes that the chief suspect in these crimes was a man named Frank Humphrey. He also went by Doc. who used the alias Leon Joseph Monfrey / Manfrey.
Oh.
Monfrey / Manfrey. Mumfrey's Garden District jazz business, which had been previously struggling, was noted by many in the community as seeming to do unusually good business once the city was compelled by threat of violence to hire jazz bands and play jazz records.
My business is failing. I know. I'm gonna spend a year and a half axing people and then tell them that jazz will save them.
Yeah,
That seems pretty
what the
extreme.
hell? A close examination of the attacks attributed to the Axeman shows that not all of these assaults were actually his handiwork. That's actually a quote from Richard Warner, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But someone was specifically targeting Italian grocers in 1917 to 1919, and also a little bit in 1910 to 1912 when a similar set of attacks occurred, but nothing that was like so obviously brutal. I believe those were actually robberies.
Mm-hmm.
But according to eyewitness accounts of, from survivors, the Axeman was either a white working class male in his 30s, or he was a dark-skinned, heavy-set businessman. So it's
Okay. That's very helpful.
It's believed that the Axeman vanished from New Orleans after the attack on the Cortimillas.
Mm-hmm.
The murder of Mike Pepitone, which I spoke about earlier, has been attributed to the Axeman. It actually appeared to have been part of a long-standing vendetta. By the way, I found no other information about this, so I don't know how true that is. But this is also from What's His Nuts, Warner. Evidence from police records and newspaper accounts show that this guy, the Axeman, killed elsewhere in Louisiana, killing Joseph Sparrow and his daughter Alexandria in December 1920, Giovanni Orlando in DeRitter in January 1921, and Frank Scalisi in Lake Charles in April 1921. In these other cases outside of New Orleans, the modus operandi, the signature was the same.
Mm-hmm.
This guy broke into an Italian grocery in the middle of the night, attacked the grocer and his family with an axe, leaving it behind, bloody and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Axeman just disappeared from history. And there were no other attributed accounts or possible attributed accounts. So I talked a lot about.
You can tell Milo that Seth's leaving.
Okay. We talked about a lot of different deaths. Some of them seemed a little more in line with one another signature-wise than others. I really, really wish I'd found information about the Pepitones. I want to know what this vendetta is. Like, is that a thing?
I just want to know what the gossip is. Like, did he upset another grocer and so he was like, "Fuck you, man."
Yeah. Like, this was the one where the blood spatter got Virgin Mary and all that shit. And
it kind of reminds me of the Cleveland torso murders, where they just kind of stopped and everyone else was like, "Oh, but they kept happening in other places off the railroad and blah blah blah." I mean, it's not like we're not gonna talk about that at all.
Yeah, hell no.
But yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
It all seems like there are too many missing pieces of information.
Yeah.
Like, I need
Botched
more.
investigations and such.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't really seem like the police were doing a whole lot.
a lot of what I found did come from like newspaper reports
Yeah.
or like criminologists studying these newspaper accounts and like police reports and things. And the fact that there were so few suspects, like there was maybe 2 suspects the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
is crazy. It
It
is
makes it
wild.
seem like they're not doing that like boots on the ground in investigation, like not even the investigation, just that like door to door collecting witness reports and like all that. If you only have 2 suspects, I don't. What are you doing?
Yeah. I think either a lot of these murders were by, I wouldn't say all of them, but a lot of them might have been by the same person who
Mm-hmm.
was incredibly disorganized and was just all over the place and didn't stick to a schedule, but also had like a major god complex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the killer did do a lot of these murders and then sent in a letter to the newspaper like that, like
Yeah.
I personally believe there's no way that all of these can be one person. There's no fucking way. It's all
Yeah.
too random.
Yeah. For sure.
But
Especially
hey,
if
I'm
they're
I'm
not the
not
same.
yeah, I'm not a professional. So
Oh yeah, okay.
so everybody listening, what do you think based on what I talked about? I don't know.
Are you a professional?
Oh, who's to say? I mean, if you don't know, just jazz it out, just in
Jazz it
case.
out. I was jazzing it out at work today and I didn't even know.
Hell yeah.
Listen to my 20s one of my many saved 20s jazz playlists.
Hell yeah.
I listen to a different one every day because I'm trying to find the best one.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You could just combine them all together, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was also thinking. I was like, well, I can just, oh, I really like these songs from this one, so I'll just start my own where I just, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's gonna take a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Good
Well,
talk.
I'd love to go back to New Orleans regardless.
Me too.
I miss
Seth even
it.
just said to me the other day, he was like, "Oh, I want to go back to New Orleans." I'm like, "Oh, me too." And ever since he said that, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
Food.
It's such a vibe.
It really is.
And the
Oh,
food.
and the
The food is
food.
so good.
The food is so good. I thought my
Okay.
phone wasn't charging for a second. I panicked.
Oh no.
She's charging. We're good. We Gucci. Okay. Tune in next week. I hear it's gonna be a sticky one.
It's just more Italians.
Okay, bye.
Well, that concludes this week's broadcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you wish to stay in touch, reach out to us at broadcastfromthebelfry@gmail.com or stalk us on Instagram at broadcastfromthebelfry. Again, I hope you've enjoyed our little show. Please rate and review. And until next week, stay